This is YSM Sports Media. Want to thank you for all your love and support. Really appreciate it. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and click the notification button for all future content.
You're moving up in weight. What does that entail?
It just entails kind of a different regimen as far as keeping track of my weight. So usually it's okay, stay under this number. And now it's, make sure you're no lower than a certain number and no higher than a certain number. So I walk around at maybe like in between 147, 152. I don't get any lower than 147 because I don't need to right now. So I make sure that my hydration is on point, my meals are on point. I keep control of the weight on the other side, make sure I don't get too high because again, I don't need to get that high. I'm not in a bulking kind of season or anything like that. Like I'm not lifting massive weights, trying to gain muscle. I'm strong how I am, and we're just going to stick with that. Other than that, maybe sparring a little heavier. But that's pretty much it. Nothing really crazy. We stick to the same thing all the way through. No, it doesn't. And I've fought at 135, 140, and now 140, 145 is the agreement.
Oh, so you're fighting the catchweight?
Yeah.
Okay, so why Cecilia Braekhus?
Why not? It was. I'm looking for history, and I'm looking for big names, and I'm looking for an opportunity to make my mark. And what better way than to spoil, Cecilia, beating any records of however many wins that she has, and what better way than to spoil her perfect record of fights? What better way than to move across different weight classes and to take all the belts? I'm not trying to, pick up pennies, when there's like $100 bill right there, I mean, I'm not going to undersell myself or undervalue myself. I think it's very capable goal to make. So I'm going to leap for it. A lot of people didn't want to touch Katie Taylor and they were afraid. And she called them out and said, nobody wants to fight us. And we were like, we'll fight you. Like, ain't nobody over here scared. So it's kind of the same thing. Like, why not Cecilia?
That says a lot about your mindset. Even in such a short career, you have a lot of quality opponents.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, in boxing, once you get to a certain level, there's no reason to regress. You only get better when your competition is better. So I just feel like it's very important to keep yourself at a high level.
Do you feel like a lot of fighters take a lot of, I ain't gonna call them cherries, but a lot of soft touches?
Like what do they call them? Like warm-up fights? Or is that what you mean?
Yeah, too many tuna.
Yeah, I mean, I think the mentality, and this could be a very just kind of old school mentality, is you have a huge fight and then you have the tune-ups. You get like 2 tune-ups. Or I feel like there's just such an up and down wave of how things used to be done. And you don't really see that nowadays. I mean, if you think about the Cottos and the Canelos and the De La Hoyas for the most part, Shane Mosley, they always had pretty high level competition all the way through. They weren't taking, tune-ups, and I think that's how it should be.
Now, what does Cecilia bring to the table that makes this a difficult fight, besides her record?
To make it a what kind of fight?
That makes this a difficult fight.
Difficult fight. Yeah. Her experience. She has a lot of experience. She's seen a lot of different fighters over different time span of what boxing is, especially in the female world. It's evolved so much, and so she's seen a lot of different things. So her experience is probably the best thing that she has going for her. I think the best things that I have going for me is just not knowing what to expect. And I know my power doesn't translate over tape pretty much at all. And so that'll be just kind of something that she's not going to be ready for. We're always training. So as far as stamina and learning new things on a regular basis. Like a lot of these fighters are getting old in their skill or mentally to where they do XYZ and that's all they got, you know, and I'm a young fighter with only a few amount of fights. And so I feel like I have so much more to learn. You know, I'm like a freshman in boxing. I just happen to have 2 world title belts, but I still have sophomore year, junior year, senior year to go.
That's a hell of a freshman year.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, Rick has always brought in the best strength and conditioning coaches and the best sparring and put me in the best position just to learn about the business and to learn how everything should go. And it's been working out really well.
What's your prediction for the fight?
I'm going to say knockout. I don't know what round, but I definitely say I knock out Cecilia and surprise the world.
With the lead left uppercut. You one of the only fighters that I've ever seen get that off, yo.
A lot of females lean in, and I got crazy angles, and I don't know where they came from, but you know, I see out of my peripherals very well, and sometimes it's just like, oh, there they go, and just crank that angle and get it off. You know, it's funny. There was I don't think this was the lead uppercut. I think it was the rear uppercut, but there was the first fight with Farias, October here in Chicago, and October 2018 when I got the belt, and she just was like wide open, and I think I did like a triple uppercut, and I'm walking back to the corner, and I'm looking at Rick like my chest puffed out, like yeah, and he's like, don't throw 3 uppercuts, you throw the upper and then you come over the top, and I was like, I just kind of hung my head in shame while I hear everybody else like listening to the replay going, ooh, ooh. And I was just like, okay, over, under. And I think I did it the next round, over, under, over. So.
Yeah, with the lead uppercut, you also got like a real awkward overhand right that it just always seems to land.
You hear that? We practice that. We practice things like that. You gotta use both hands. You gotta change levels. I couldn't tell you how many times I hear that on an everyday basis. So it makes me feel good that you said that you noticed that, because we work on stuff like that a lot. So yeah, I mean, again, with my crazy angles, in order to get the next thing off, it has to have a crazy angle too. So you're just tangled up in there so much. And if you're a very textbook kind of fighter, just kind of straight up and down, and you're not able to rumble. I came into boxing as a brawler, and then Rick taught me how to box, and then he taught me how to turn it off and on and go back and forth. So just knowing what it's like to be in the clinches like that, you know, I've created angles that are very awkward and surprising to myself.